Hello, today we shall see the comparison between ring spun and rotor spun yarns. Let us first see the structural differences between these two yarns that are produced by these two different methods. So this is the image of a ring spun yarn and this is the image of a rotor spun yarn. What you see is rotor spun has got certain characteristics due to the wrapper fibers that are shown here. Wrapper fibers, you can see in the structure, they are fibers which have come out and are binding the yarn in this manner, which is not seen in a normal ring spun yarn. The rotor, along with the fiber ring and a newly spun yarn, revolve continuously under the stationary fiber channel. Now, in the process, we know that as the fiber channel is directing the fibers into the rotor, the fiber ring as well as the newly spun yarn, all of them along with the rotor, they rotate below this stationary fiber channel. So when the incoming fibers enter the rotor, they land on the earlier fibers in the rotor group, and those fibers which have not been already twisted now. So normally this is all right. You won't see any wrapper fibers due to this if it normally lands in the on the fibers which are not being twisted. But sometimes it happens that they land because it is all because of this reason that the rotor along with the fiber ring and the spun yarn continuously rotates. There will be some period where the fibers will tend to land in the binding in zone, and this is the zone where the yarn is being twisted. And when the fibers land in this particular region, such fibers will wrap themselves around the yarn core. These fibers are known as wrapper fibers, as you can see here. Wrapper fibers is an identifying feature of the rotor spun yarn. Also, rotor spun yarns are twisted from the core to the surface. Now, in ring spinning, we know that when the yarn in the ring frame comes out of the front roller, the way it gets twisted, the twisting happens actually from the outer surface towards the inner surface, whereas in rotor the twisting happens first in the core and then it's happening over on the surface. So this is a major difference that we see. One is the wrapper fiber, second one is this the manner of twisting between rotor spun and ring spun yarns. um, and therefore, what happens is in the ring spun yarns, all the fibers are therefore uniformly integrated along the line of twist. The number of wrapper fibers, let us see what it depends on, what are the factors they depend on. So the number would increase with the length of binding in zone, which this binding in zone is discussed in lecture 24. If the fiber length is longer than the rotor circumference, in that case also we see that the wrapper fibers would increase. And for this, we can refer to this particular paper by Dr. Salotra. Also, as the rotor speed increases, we would see an increase in the wrapper fibers. The wrapper fibers may be wound around the yarn in both S and Z direction. Now let us see what are the properties that are imparted by these wrapper fibers. High twist multipliers. Now high twist multipliers always lead to a longer binding in zone. This was discussed in the earlier lecture. And because if your twist multipliers are high, then they lead to higher number of wrapper fibers, and the yarn will therefore be harsh. And when you say harsh, it means that it affects the handle of the yarn. Such hard yarns would be unsuitable for the knitting sector. Developments in rotor profiles, design of draw-off nozzle, and optimized air guidance in the spin box have enabled the use of low multipliers. Now, we have seen during our processing, when we learned processing, we saw that we can have a change in the rotor profile, we can change the draw-off nozzle type, the design of it, and because of optimized air guidance, now we can really control all of this, and this helps us in making yarns with low twist multipliers. And when we make yarns with low twist multipliers, we can be a little bit safer in terms of reduced number of wrapper fibers. which will tend to reduce the harshness in the yarn. So all these factors, changes in the process can be made, and therefore we can expect a considerable reduction in wrapper fibers. Now, twist multipliers here would be, they are slightly higher than that used for ring spun yarn. Even if when I say it's a low twist multiplier, they are slightly higher than that used for ring spun yarn. But still, in spite of that, if we are able to just reduce the number of wrapper fibers, we would get a slightly softer yarn, and the harshness could be reduced. The hand of the rotor spun yarn is now much closer to the ring spun yarn, and it is therefore possible now to replace ring spun yarns in certain knitting sectors, example making of t-shirts. So let us come to the next topic of discussion, yarn structure and physical properties. There are two basic parameters that describe a yarn. One is the yarn structure, that is the orientation of the fibers in the yarn cross section and along the length of the yarn. Both will be responsible for certain properties that we might see in the yarn. One of them is yarn appearance. Then the second would be wear characteristics and yarn strength. All these three properties of the yarn would get affected by the orientation of the fiber along the length. There are certain physical properties like tenacity, elongation, hairiness, irregularity, and imperfections, which might be there in the yarn, and which are responsible for its stable running during weaving preparatory, weaving, knitting, etc., along with the serviceability during use. So if this tenacity, elongation, hairiness are not as per our requirements, they will create problems during the downstream processes and also during use. So let us look at the first yarn property, that is the yarn tenacity. The fibers at the surface of the rotor yarn are more parallel. Twist is because unlike ring spun yarn, twist is always inserted from core towards the surface. And because of this, most of the fibers on the surface would be lying parallel. And this is one of the reasons, along with lower orientation of fibers, both these reasons contribute towards the lower tenacity in the rotor yarn structure as compared to ring spun yarns. The loss in strength can be rectified or improved by taking the following steps. One can use a narrower groove. When I use a narrower groove, the yarn produced is more compact and strength will increase. We can use a smaller diameter draw of nozzle, which will lead to giving us a smaller contact surface. And when it gives me a smaller contact surface, it will reduce the effect of false twist. We have seen the relation in our earlier lecture. It will, since it reduces a false twist effect, it will therefore at the same time increase the true twist that has to be inserted. And although this by doing this it may make the yarn more harsher, we can expect good yarn tenacity. So if we are looking for tenacity, a slight compromise is made on the harshness of the handle of the yarn. Then for higher tenacity, what we can do is an optimized fiber guidance in the spin box, which has happened over a period of years now. And it has been able to improve the rotor yarn strength considerably and has narrowed the gap between rotor and ring spun yarn strengths. The CV percentage of the yarn strength in case of rotor spun yarn is lower than that for ring spun yarn. So there is one advantage here in terms of yarn strength. The CV, the variation in the yarn strength along the length of the rotor spun yarn is lower than the ring spun yarn, and this happens because there is something known as back doubling phenomenon at rotor spinning, and because of this back doubling, the variation in tenacity is better due to the reduction in short term irregularities. So these back doublings leads to reduction in short term irregularities, which in turn leads to better um, better CVs of the yarn strength. So let us come to the topic of substance utilization. Let us understand what this means. The percentage of fiber tenacity that can be translated into the yarn tenacity is termed as substance utilization. That means whatever percentage of fiber tenacity is there, how much will it contribute towards the yarn tenacity? We can actually calculate that. And for the same fiber, if we take two cases, rotor and ring, and we take the same fiber and spin them on these two different systems, rotor spun is able to transfer 45 to 55% to the yarn, as compared to 50 to 65 in the case of ring spun yarn. So the translation factor of the tenacity of fiber to the yarn towards the yarn strength is more in case of ring spun yarn. Therefore, the tenacity of rotor spun yarn will always be 10 to 20% lesser than that of ring spun, even if they are spun from the same fibers. So, there is a formula for substance utilization. It is centinewton per tex of yarn divided by centinewton per tex of fiber multiplied by 100. So, let us try to understand this with the help of an example. If the fiber of tenacity of 24 centinewton per tex is processed, the yarn tenacities for rotor spun and ring spun yarns can be calculated as given here. Rotor spun yarn tenacity in centinewton per tex will be equal to 24 into 45 divided by 100, since we are expecting a transfer or utilization of 45% here. So rotor spun yarn tenacity for this particular fiber, it will be 10.8. And if this substance utilization is in the, since the range is given, so minimum would be 10.8 and maximum, if I take 55, it will be 13.2. At the same time, for ring spun yarn with the same fiber of 24 centinewton per tex, the translation range is 50 to 65, and so the values would come as 12 and 15.6, and you can see it is higher than that of rotor. The calculation of substance utilization helps us in identifying the causes that might have an adverse effect on the yarn tenacity. On finding that the substance utilization percentage is lesser than the given range, suppose we produce a yarn and we find out that it is utilization factor is lesser than 45 to 55 for rotor spun yarn, then we can conclude that there must be some other cause for the low tenacity of yarn, like fiber damage due to high opening roller speed, or inadequate fiber compaction due to accumulation of dust or dirt in the rotor grooves, and such other reasons. So we can always um, uh, calculate and then identify the faults or the defects that are there, because of which the yarn tenacity has gone down. So let us look at the another property of rotor spun yarn, that is elongation at break. Elongation percentage of rotor spun yarn is slightly higher than ring spun yarn, which is marginal, very small. Studies show that increase in 1% elongation at break shows a similar improvement during the working of the yarn at the weaving stage, and equivalence would be around 2 centinewton per tex of yarn tenacity. So a 1% increase in elongation is almost equal to 2 centinewton per tex in terms of working of the yarn at the downstream processes like weaving. So what we mean to say is elongation is equally important. So at high speeds on modern machines, the elongation percentage is an equally important yarn property due to the high tensions that the yarns have to undergo. So we cannot ignore elongation percentage, even if it is marginally higher as compared to ring spun. It is an important improvement in the property. The stress strain behavior of rotor spun yarn is similar to the ring spun yarn. Now we come to the next property of rotor spun yarn, that is yarn hairiness. Yarn hairiness is the fibers protruding from the yarn body when they are not incorporated into the yarn structure. It is characterized by the length and the frequency of the hair. So whenever you measure yarn hairiness, it is measured in terms of the length that is protruding out of the yarn body, and also the number of hairs that is protruding out, so the frequency of the hair. So rotor spun yarns are significantly low in hairiness compared to ring spun yarn, and this is also this is a less hairiness is due to the wrapper fibers that we have seen. These wrapper fibers tend to bind in the loose fiber ends into the body of the yarn, so you will see a reduction in yarn hairiness as compared to ring spun yarn. Higher hairiness in ring spinning is due to the edge fibers, of the drafted web during drafting and the spinning triangle at every stage of drafting and twisting. So we know in ring spinning, always the edge fibers that are there, they tend to protrude out, and this mainly we see in the drafted web that comes out of a drafting system, and it is also seen in the spinning triangle during each and every stage of drafting on speed frame as well as ring frame. Influence of yarn hairiness on fabric properties. So if hairiness is high or low, how does it influence fabric properties? Mm, Yarn hairs longer than 3 mm lengths have the following negative impacts. First negative impact is that fabric will appear diffuse, it will not be clear in its look. Fiber deposits in the downstream processes. When the yarn hairiness is more, then some fibers may start depositing and clinging to the machine parts, and after it clings it will create a bunch, and at frequent intervals they will show up in the final fabric, because it will first show up in the yarns as thick places, because such deposits will be frequently released, and finally they would show up in the final fabric as a disturbing defect. So these are the two negative impacts, but there are some positive impacts of yarn hairiness. So yarn hairiness is required in the following cases: when one is expecting a soft handle in the final fabric. Also, in case of knitted fabrics, one would require some amount of yarn hairiness. And in case of denim fabrics, the yarn hairiness helps in a different way. It helps to maintain the distance between the yarns during dope dyeing, because they act as the hairiness acts as a spacer. So let us see the rotor spun yarn for knitted fabrics. It should be over here actually. So if I want to use rotor spun yarn for knitted fabrics, so in that case, what I should do so that I will be able to use them and penetrate the market of knitted fabrics. So due to low hairiness, rotor yarns would have been unsuitable for knitted fabrics. But the loss of softness in the fabric due to lower hairiness. Now, lower hairiness would lead to lower softness in the fabric. So it is not liked by people. So it would be unsuitable and nobody will use it. But just to compensate for this softness, it can be done in some other way, that is improving the bulk. We can improve the bulk on the rotor in the rotor spun yarn, and then it will try to we can try to bring it more closer towards the fabric, which would be made with by using ring spun yarns, which would be softer. So improving the bulk would be one of the remedies to use these rotor spun yarns on for knitted fabrics. So how do we improve the bulk? We can use lower twist multipliers and improve the bulk. So a larger groove angle, this would also lead to a less compact yarn, and we could increase the bulk. At the same time, the radius and a diameter, if it is larger, the bulk increases, and with a reduction in rotor speed. So if you take care of all these factors, what we can do is rotor speed also, when we reduce, it will automatically lead to a reduced TM as per our formula which we have seen earlier. And in this case, therefore, a reduction in rotor speed is advisable, as it does not affect the delivery speeds and production. So by reducing rotor speed, we can produce a bulkier and a hairier yarn. Higher the notches on the nozzle surface. So again, a nozzle surface also contributes to a large extent, and so higher the notches and a larger diameter. Both these factors would lead to more kind of grip, or increases the surface contact of the yarn with the nozzle, and which will definitely increase the false twist effect, and therefore we are provided with an opportunity to spin the rotor yarn at a lower true twist, which will automatically again result in hairier and bulkier yarn. Also, twist stop elements, which we have seen earlier, further increases the yarn hairiness. So if I am looking for yarn hairiness, these are some changes I can make in the elements that are used for spinning the rotor spun yarns, and I can try to bring it much closer towards the properties of the ring spun yarn, which are used for knitted fabrics. We come to the next property, that is abrasion resistance and pilling tendency. Abrasion means rubbing away of the component fibers and yarns of the fabric. Abrasion resistance is higher when the fibers used are longer in length, since it becomes difficult to remove them from the yarn surface by rubbing. So always we should go for a longer fiber length if we are looking for good abrasion resistance. Have higher elongation. The fiber should have higher elongation, elastic recovery, and also work of rupture. If you find that the fiber has got these properties, then it is seen that there is an increase in the abrasion resistance of the fabric that is made from such yarns. With respect to yarns, the abrasion resistance improves with the increase in number of fibers in the cross section. So this is another factor. If we try to increase the number of fibers in the yarn cross section, then we see that there is a better cohesion between the fibers. Then it becomes difficult for the fibers to come out of the yarn body, and therefore the abrasion resistance would be higher. And we can also use optimum twist levels to give us a good abrasion resistance. Now we come to pills. Pills are balls of entangled fibers clinging to the surface of the fabric. Pills appear in the fabric when it undergoes rubbing. Greater hairiness in yarns lead to more pilling, because the hair will tend to entangle amongst themselves and form these small balls, which are very shabby when it appears in the final fabric after dyeing. So due to wrapper fibers, since the rotor yarn exhibits lower hairiness, and therefore more fibers are bound into the yarn structure, and we see that the abrasion resistance as well as the pilling tendency show a positive trend when we compare it with the ring spun yarn. Also, fiber fly, which would otherwise be a problem, it is a lesser problem in case of downstream processes when we are using rotor spun yarns, because of again the same reason, because of the wrapper fibers, which tend to hold the fibers together and does not create a lot of fiber fly. Yarn irregularity and imperfections. So let us see how these compare with the ring spun yarn. Random distribution of fibers along the yarn length always gives the best possible regularity. But this kind of an ideal distribution, it cannot be obtained in yarns due to machine operations and drafting system. There will be some deficiencies in machine operations and drafting system. So the deficiencies will not allow us to make a perfect or a more regular yarn by random distribution of fibers. So irregularity is always expressed in CV or U percentage. But there shall always be, because of these reasons, some reasons that we just cannot avoid, there will always be some minimum irregularity in the output sliver or yarn that can be made, that can be expected, because the actual drafting conditions are never the same as the ideal drafting. So since we cannot reach the perfect ideal drafting, that's why there is always going to be some minimum irregularity in the output material, and this irregularity is called as limit irregularity. And the formula for this is CV limit is equal to 100 upon root n, where n is the average number of fibers in the cross section. Rotor spun yarns are more regular due to the back doubling of the fiber layers in the rotor group, and because of this back doubling, it becomes more uniform, and therefore it is found to be better than the ring spun yarns. So therefore, if you compare the CV limit of a rotor spun yarn, it is around 75%. When you come 75% of the comparable ring spun yarns, that is the CV values of the rotor spun yarns are better than the yarn spun using any other system of spinning. So we can say that this is a positive point where we see lower CV. Imperfections in yarn lead to ends down in the downstream processes, or they may make a disturbing appearance in the fabric. The number of thick places and neps per 1000 meters of yarn are around 60 to 80% lesser than that compared to the ring spun yarn. So again we see an advantage over here where imperfections are 60 to 80% lesser. But if they are found to be high, then the reasons could be immature cotton, worn out damaged machine parts, damaged opening ruler teeth, wear of wear or fiber deposits in the fiber guide channel. So if there is some amount of wear in the it's worn out the fiber guide channel, or if there are some kind of fiber deposit getting deposited in this guide channel, then what happens is at some time it will be released, and then it will result in either ends down, that means the yarn will break at rotor spinning itself, which is better in fact than the entire deposits going through the yarn and reaching the fabric and then show up as a defect in the final fabric. So but either ways, both these are not desirable or wanted. So we must see to it that this does not happen, and therefore otherwise if these reasons are not there, normally you would see a 60 to 80% lesser imperfection in rotor spun yarn as compared to a ring spun yarn. So here we come to a table which is a sort of summary of the entire lecture that we have seen just now. And here there are some properties which are shown, a rotor spun yarn compared to ring spun yarn. Tenacity, CV of tenacity, elongation, irregularity, imperfections per 1000 meters, bulk, abrasion resistance, stiffness, the hand, the surface of the yarn, the hairiness, as well as the luster. So I have purposely blocked this particular area. I want you to just think about all these properties, whatever we have learned just now. So what kind of properties are we expecting here? Whether tenacity would be higher or lower or similar to the ring spun yarn in that manner. Like we can just think about it and write somewhere and then maybe check it along with whatever is given in the table, so that we know that we have understood the entire concepts given in the lecture. So after you finish that, maybe you can just take a look at how it is. Tenacity would be lower. CV percentage of tenacity is lower. We have seen that in our earlier slide, that both these properties are CV of this thing is you can see there is a negative mark which is shown here. Tenacity is lower, but CV would show some positive over here because of the back doubling that is happening. Then elongation at break, we said that it is higher, so it's a positive point. Irregularity, CV is lower because again now because of back doubling, so it's a positive point. Imperfections per 1000 meters, we just saw it is much lower, so it's a very positive point here because it's lower by around 60 to 80%. Then yarn bulk can be made higher, and again it's a positive point. Abrasion resistance is higher because of the lower hairs and because of the wrapper fibers which try to keep all the fibers together in the yarn body and bind them together. So it's a positive. Stiffness, it is higher, it is shown, but it can be changed. One here tells us that it can be positive or negative depending on the end product. We can make certain changes in our processing elements and change this particular property. Hand of the yarn would always be harder and virtually the same as ring spun yarn in the end product after finishing. So this we are talking about before finishing. After finishing, what you see is the hand would almost be same and similar to the ring spun yarn. So surface, as we have seen, because of wrapper fibers, it will be rougher. Again, this can be changed by changing the TM. We have seen how we can change it. So again, you can have a positive or negative depending on the end product. We can change and have a different surface of yarn. So hairiness would always be lower. Again, this we can change slightly by changing certain process elements. Then luster wise, it would be duller because again because of wrapper fibers which will show us some kind of roughness on the yarn surface. So this happens to be a negative point. So this is a sort of summary of the entire lecture. We have whatever we have seen earlier, and we have seen reasons why it is lower or higher, or maybe we can change. So um I guess this table gives us the entire picture of how the rotor spun yarn would actually be or behave in the downstream processes. So with this, we come to the end of the lecture. Thank you.